Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden and 2K packs? Well, look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable Madden and 2K coins on the market. And of course, do not forget to use code Ferdy for 5% off. A link for their website is at the top of the description. Today we have our third and final update to the most feared tier list. I'm just going to add part 3 right on top of part number 1 and part number 2 for a very complete tier list when it's all said and done. But yeah, most feared I think's been okay. I wasn't a big fan of the last drop. I really wasn't. Outside of Tyreek Hill, I mean, outside of a theme team, there really wasn't that many good cards. I think drop number 1 has brought us the best 5 cards so far with Carmichael, Henry, Stephon Gilmore, Derwin James, and Julius Peppers. This drop coming out today is a good one. So yeah, let's just get started with the 90 overall Leonard Fournette. So like I said, it's a good drop. It's not a great drop. It's not amazing. And getting started here with Leonard Fournette, 90 overall, 88 speed with 86 acceleration, 85 agility. This guy is a power back. I feel like a lot of the power backs that we've been getting, even like Derrick Henry has a good juke move, but I feel like a lot of the guys have not really been like your traditional power backs. This guy is what you would think a power back is, 1 AP bulldozer. Leonard Fournette, we are going to throw him. We're going to throw Lenny down here at C tier. I feel like he's the Michael Thomas, you know, running back version, kind of like Michael Thomas, 88 speed, you know, not even like that great route running, which you would expect. And I feel like Leonard Fournette's kind of on that same page, you know, not really worth going after outside of a theme team, kind of mediocre stats. I feel like Michael Thomas and Leonard Fournette have a lot of similarities going on. So now we have one of the 90s that I think is a really good BND option, and we've kind of gotten a couple corners from this. I think Okudah and Marshawn Lattimore are kind of equals. If you need cornerback help, I think if you pick Okudah and Lattimore, you're pretty good hands. I still think theme teams are necessary if, you know, 90s are going to have this kind of speed, especially the 90s that they're giving us. We really don't have that. I mean, there is, I guess, some more clear-cut number 1 corners. Obviously, there's Dion, but we can't get him yet. But they're not giving us like any crazy, overpowered, somewhat affordable corner until the card we're going to get into in a little bit. But yeah, Marshawn Lattimore is a good option. He's a good option, good man-to-man guy for sure, good speed. And if we look here, he is 6 foot 192 and should have some maybe like low 70s in tackling stats, which should be pretty good too. So yeah, Marshawn Lattimore, I think he goes up there with Okudah at A tier, and like Shaq Griffin. I would say these are like the 3 best corners. If you're going to be playing zone, go Shaquille Griffin. If you're more of a man guy, Marshawn Lattimore. Okudah does have an inch on Lattimore. So, I mean, I guess, is Okudah and... Let me see what Okudah has going. Okudah... I think Okudah has 9... Okay, no, so Okudah has 90 man... Yeah, they're basically the same card, except one just has an inch over the other. That's really what it comes down to. Also, Okudah, a pretty good tackler as well. So, yeah, I'm going to throw Marshawn Lattimore at a mid to high A tier. So now we have the 90 overall pass coverage. Dion Jones does get Browns and Falcons chem. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about how he's on the Browns now. I feel like that was just, you know, just really happened really fast, but he's now a Brown. 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 6 foot 1. I feel like he's always one of the best users every single year, has good size, can play zone, can run by himself with good speed and acceleration. And if we take a look at his old card, or his card he already has in the game, 6 foot 1, 222 pounds. So can play linebacker, can definitely hold his own, and is tall enough to be a user. The agility on this card should be like, you know, mid to low 80s in agility, probably more towards mid 80s, like 85, 86. And the COD should be low 80s on this card, making him a good user. And of course, you know, they have to, every linebacker that they drop now has to get some kind of lurker discount for the card to actually be used. So Dion Jones is no different. He does get 1 AP lurker, which is a W. If he didn't get that, I would say scrap him. But honestly, if we look at the linebackers sorted by speed, right? If we're sorted by speed, he is tied for the fastest. And London Fletcher is 5'10". Dion Jones is 6 foot 1. And the lurker, I don't even know, does he get? Oh, he does get 1 AP lurker. See what I mean? Like, they got to give all these linebackers just 1 AP lurker, or else no one. Yeah, like 1 AP lurker. Like literally, they're giving it out to every single guy. 1 AP lurker on Devondre Campbell. They're giving it out to literally, maybe not. Okay, not on Cushing. He was more of a run stopper guy. Ray Lewis has it, Nishiki has it, so yeah, it's interesting. You gotta give 1 AP lurker to these middle linebackers. But Dion Jones, I'm gonna throw him. I think he's honestly like a, you know, I usually knock down linebackers, middle linebackers naturally, like kind of like Ray Lewis, for example. But Dion Jones is really good, and I think for his price, he'll be a good option if you are someone that is going to be using those linebackers. If you're not, who cares? Keep moving. But if you're going to use linebackers, good bang for your buck option right there. So now we have the 90 overall Tyler Lockett, and I feel like Tyler Lockett gets forgotten about every single year in MUT. Mainly because whenever he comes out, the Seattle theme team, as far as receivers go, is already completely loaded. This year's no different. They have amazing receivers that are tall and fast, and Brandon Marshall, DK Metcalf. They have all these guys that are super good. So Tyler Lockett, probably even on a Seattle team, I mean, he's 5'10", 182, so it makes sense. But probably even on a Seattle team, this card won't get any run. He will not. I forgot about Doug Baldwin. So yeah, Doug Baldwin's better, Marshall's better, DK's better. The only way you might run Tyler Lockett is if you're not willing to pay maybe some coins for one of these receivers and you have a Seattle theme team. But outside of that, there's just no point in going after Tyler Lockett. He's not worth it, outside of a theme team. I mean, not even really cracking the top 3 on his own theme team. So you probably, odds are, won't see any Tyler Lockett. And we're going to throw him, Tyler Lockett, I mean, 90 speed isn't awful. I think he's like, even like his route running isn't that great, right? Like it's not, if it was like 3 thresholds, maybe I'd raise him a little higher. But he's kind of like the Jair Alexander, of the receivers, the same way Fournette is like the Michael Thomas running back. It's kind of like that. I rate them very similarly. I'll put him in front of Marquise. I will, but that's kind of the parallels I'm seeing here on these tier lists. So usually I don't dive deep into offensive linemen in these videos. Normally I don't, but I had to talk about this because Andrew Thomas is our third most feared, 90 plus most feared left tackle. And usually Ian does a good job at, spreading out the love throughout our promo so we can kind of fill out our offensive linemen, B and D wise. But if you look at it, I mean, left tackle, Trent Williams is the best one, I would say. But for Trent's price tag, and, I'd imagine that Andrew Thomas will settle at about what Greg Bowles is. But the weird thing is, Trent Williams, what makes him kind of special is the 1 AP edge protector, right? That's the cool thing. No one's really running nasty streak 1 AP, although it could be good maybe in the right scheme. If you run it, good for you. Or 1 AP post up, which you're probably not putting on a tackle. 1 AP edge protector is what's special about this card and what makes him good. And he doesn't hit the he doesn't hit 2 thresholds as far as where is it? The 90 pass block, right? So he does not have 90 pass block, does have 92 run block, but him not hitting that 90 pass block is super important, especially when cards like Andrew Thomas are coming out, because Andrew Thomas is a little bit more balanced than what Trent Williams is, and for some reason they didn't give discounted abilities to what's his name? Garrett Bowles, right? That's his name. Garrett Bowles is his name. I almost said Greg. It's Garrett. Yeah, Garrett Bowles. They did not give Garrett Bowles 1 AP edge protector. They gave him edge protector, but not for 1 AP. They gave him no discounted abilities. But on Andrew Thomas, he gets 1 AP edge protector. So yeah, if you're running edge protector Trent Williams and you don't have a theme team, whether it's Commanders or Niners, might as well sell off Trent Williams and go use Andrew Thomas. It's a tactical downgrade. It makes sense. You're not losing any production at all. You simply are not. So that's my thoughts right here on Andrew Thomas. And if you are if you do care really about your offensive line like that. So yeah, Andrew Thomas, I'm going to throw him right with, Trent and Bowles, but just know, as far as price tags are worth, Andrew Thomas probably ahead of Trent. So for our first champion, we have Devonte Adams, and people in these Twitter replies are saying most feared by cameramen. Just absolutely out of pocket, but it's okay. This Devonte Adams card was cheated. There's no way around it. I love Devonte cards. I think they're amazing every single year. Well, last year especially, they were really good in Madden 22. If you survived last year's game, you know that basically every single Devonte Adams card that came out was super top tier whenever he came out. Like, he was 1 or 2 whenever he got a new card. They did not cheat him. If anything, they actually juiced him too much last year. I'm thinking back to his Zero Chill or Ghost of Madden Present LTD, or even his free agency card last year. They were all amazing. But Devonte Adams, this card was cheated. Simple as that. The route running is too low. I feel like they might change this. I'm recording these. I always record the tier list videos the night before the cards come out. There's a good chance that Devonte Adams is boosted. If that is the case, check the pinned comment. If not, it is what it is. These are the stats. But this route running is insane. And just to really show off how insanely low the route running is, compare him to a guy like Pete Mezzalars. He has 95 short route running, 89 mid, 91 deep route running. You're telling me Pete Mezzalars has a route running ability equal to Devonte Adams? That's what you're going to tell me. Same overall cards. That's what you're going to tell me. You can't tell me that. This is just an example of how there's 2 different teams working on content at the same time and they just do not communicate at all. And it speaks volumes when cards like this come out. And same like with like Stephon Diggs, for example. I feel like he was just too slow for an LTD, you know. But yeah, Devonte Adams does get 1 AP red zone threat, which I guess is cool. Matchup nightmare, deep out elite. But, you know, I guess the only thing kind of keeping Devonte where I'm going to put him, which is high A tier, is the 1 AP red zone threat. But outside of a Packers or Raiders team, I don't think there's even a point in going after him. So here is our LTD, and we got Tyrann Matthew. I'm very surprised that EA went with 2 defensive LTDs and 1 offensive LTD, especially with them only doing 1 limited like per drop now instead of 2 like they used to always do with 1 offense, 1 defense. But yeah, we have Tyrann Matthew, 5'9", 91 speed, 92 acceleration. This card's gonna play a lot like Palomalu did when he first came out. That's probably my best like player comp. If I were to use this card, I'd probably play him at slot corner. He does get mid-route KO, so can play a little bit of man coverage. I wish he hit that man coverage threshold. I definitely do, but should be good against the run. The only issue with this card is the fact that he's going to get dunked on. That's the only problem, and that's kind of out of his control. This is probably like, I mean, I'm not going to say it's the best. They could have made a Tyrann Matthew card because I think 90-man coverage would have been that, but it's close to it. It's close to it. So if you have one of his theme teams, you know, that having that 93 speed is kind of like the Tyreek Hill thing where like the speed's good enough where you can run him on a full theme team. Even though 40 out of 50 you can definitely run him, but outside of that, I don't really see a point in going after Tyrann Matthew outside of a theme team. So for that reason, I'm gonna throw Tyrann Matthew at mid to high A tier. So I will say that there is 2 must-add cards regardless of what your team is looking like, regardless what theme team you have, regardless. I think there's 2 must-add cards. And this right here is one of them. That is the 92 Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey cards, first of all, always will play amazing. And this card is juiced. I mean, 92 speed, 91 acceleration at 6'2". I'm sure this card's going to be able to tackle, can play man, can play zone, the press. This card's going to be a beast. And I think he is, I mean, just forget that Deion Sanders even exists. I think he's the best corner in the game. Jalen Ramsey. Better than Tracy Porter. He's 6'2". He's not. You know, this is, what is he, 5'10", like 6'2" with the same speed? Yeah, give me Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey. I mean, Jalen Ramsey or Gilmore, there could be a debate there, I think, for sure. That would be the only debate I'd hear. Is it Gilmore, is it Ramsey? But odds are Ramsey's going to be mid 200Ks while Gilmore's up at 500K still, so you keep that in mind as well. But Jalen Ramsey, I think, is a must-add whenever these cards do come out. So, yeah, Jalen Ramsey, I don't know if he's a better... Is he a better corner than Harold Carmichael is receiver? Probably not, because Carmichael would still dunk on Ramsey. But it is close. I think Carmichael with deep out is basically unstoppable if you don't double him. But Ramsey, 6'2" corner, 92 speed is amazing for the current meta. We don't have, we are starving for these tall, fast corners that can do both. And Ramsey is kind of the first one that we're getting, I guess. Yeah, he really is like the first one we're getting. And the other must-add card, in my opinion, is Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts' 86 overall card killed me in the early game, like on those corner routes. He's just insane. I am not looking forward to facing this card. 91 speed Kyle Pitts comes out and he's the fastest tight end in the game. Just like that, bang, there you go. 91 speed Kyle Pitts. And if you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, I have Pete maybe, or you have Dave Casper, sure, play this man at receiver, because again, his route running apparently is better than Devonte Adams' route running. Just keep that in mind. Kyle Pitts is a better route runner than Devonte Adams, but I digress. 92 short, 92 mid. This card's going to be a monster. Can almost guarantee that at 6'5", but you can play him at receiver. You can play him wherever you want to put him. This card's going to be a monster, and most likely I will drop a gameplay on this card today. Most likely. That is the plan. So if you want to see Kyle Pitts, that gameplay's coming out a little bit later. But yeah, Kyle Pitts, I'm going to put him right up here within the Ramsey and the Carmichael conversation. Yeah, like I said, 2 must-adds in this promo. I mean, in this most feared drop part 3, but yeah, Kyle Pitts, if he's not the best tight end, he's the fastest. I mean, some guys can do more. He's more of like a receiver tight end, where you have guys like, I guess, like, you know, P and guys that can run block a little bit better, like Delaney Walker, for example. Those guys can also run routes. Pete has 95 short route running, but also the run blocking is there too, where Kyle Pitts is more of just like a receiver kind of guy. So yeah, you put him at the slot, put him out wide, doesn't matter. 91 speed's even good for receivers right now. So it literally doesn't matter where you put Kyle Pitts, as long as he's on your field, he's going to be a weapon. And finally, our 4th and final champion of the day is Myles Garrett. 87 speed, 87 acceleration, 92 finesse moves, 92 block shed. decent play rec, good finesse moves, good strength. He's going to have good size. Obviously, Myles Garrett cards always have good traits. This card should be no different. And while I'm recording this right now, we don't know what his pre-baked abilities are. Unless they're super overpowered, I don't see this card being much higher than where I put him in today's video. But he's going to play pretty well. Is he, you know, the best end in the game? No, I think you'd probably take Julius over him. I think you'd probably take, you know, Javon Curse over him. There's a good amount of guys I would probably take over him that are already out. Like even Nick Bosa has there's a good case for Nick Bosa being like equal, if not better than Myles Garrett. But like I said, his cards play pretty well. So he should be okay. I think he's going to be okay. So I'm going to put him at low S tier. I think he'll be a solid edge rusher. Is he better than Julius? No, but he's still good. He's good. He's a good card, but just compared to the other ends that we already have, he's not needle moving at all. So that is going to do it for the most feared tier list. Here are all the cards. Here are all the high elites. I'll hide the face cam real quick for you guys so you can see. Wait, where's the face cam? Oh, here it is. All right, so I'll hide the face cam. You can see all of the most feared cards on one tier list. Take your screenshots. Do what you want to do. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Drop a comment. As always, I read them all. And yeah, I will see you boys in the next one.